Yo. Hi guys, Jeremy Fragrance here. Today we're going to talk about the topic Eau de Toilette versus Eau de Parfum. On the left, I always have the Eau de Toilette. On the right, I have the Eau de Parfum. Now, generally in my eyes, a fragrance should always be as strong as possible. That's why with my brand, I sometimes have Eau de Parfum, sometimes I have Extrait de Parfum, and sometimes I have Eau de Cologne if it matters. To me, a fragrance should always last as long as possible, period. No further questions needed. That's like making a Ferrari extra weak just to release another Ferrari that is strong in terms of performance. That sucks. To me, a fragrance should always be as strong as possible. So let's start off with the Dior Poison Girl Eau de Toilette. This one is a very nice fruity floral almond fragrance. The appreciation factor of the Eau de Toilette is a bit higher than the Eau de Parfum because it's not so bold, it's not so daring. If you would have to choose one, I would still go for the Eau de Parfum because it's longer lasting, it has more character, and still the likability factor is extremely high. So one win goes to the Eau de Parfum. When we talk about the Eau de Toilette Chanel Bleu versus the Eau de Parfum Chanel Bleu, my personal preference used to be for a long time the Eau de Parfum. I like that it's more rich, I like that it's more strong. However, the better price-value proposition, the better performance, funnily, is with the Eau de Toilette. So to me, the win goes to the Eau de Toilette in this case. So we got 1-1 equal. Now, Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette versus the Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. I again suggest you to go with the Eau de Toilette because the Dior Sauvage is a very magnificent fragrance because it's fresh enough for the summer, yet strong enough for the winter. And this, I'm talking about the Eau de Toilette version. Even this one is strong enough for the winter. So you don't need the extra spices of the Eau de Parfum, which can be easily overwhelming in the summertime. And that's why I say, again, I love the Eau de Parfum. But if I would have to go with one, I would go with the Eau de Toilette again. So that's 2-1 for the Eau de Toilette. Now we come to Prada L'Homme versus Prada L'Homme Intense, Eau de Toilette versus Eau de Parfum. Again, the win goes to the Eau de Toilette. And why? Because this DNA is made to smell fresh and clean, and that's it. Fresh and clean, and that's it. Perfectly made with the Prada L'Homme Eau de Toilette, not so perfectly made with the Prada L'Homme Intense because they added an unnecessary overdose of cedarwood, an unnecessary overdose of patchouli to this fragrance, and for that reason it doesn't have the clean character. Ja, super, danke dir. This guy sees that I'm doing a video and he's shaking his hand like that. Isn't that unbelievable? How people can be so ignorant. So this fragrance is great, but it's not great for what the intention of this general DNA is, which is a white, clean, soapy fragrance. You don't need this extra stuff in here. And the last one for today, if you like this type of content, I keep going. This would be the Stronger With You by Emporio Armani. It is a great fragrance, and here again I go with the Eau de Toilette because the Eau de Parfum is an overload of sweetness. Man, this is gorgeous, the Eau de Toilette. It has a nutty accord, it is very nutty and sweet and Paco Rabanne-like. So again, what do we learn? 4-1, the Eau de Toilette wins. The Eau de Toilette generally wins. We learned that. The Eau de Toilette generally wins. We also learned that generally the first release wins. Because here, even though it's an Eau de Parfum, it was their first release, and so it's the best one. Like with movies, you look at all these movies, oftentimes the first movie is the best, not the sequel, not the third. Oftentimes the first movie is the best. Oftentimes the first big hit is the best. Oftentimes the first things are always the best because you have the most confidence, the most courage. And sometimes also, well, you don't know why, but for a good reason, they chose this DNA because they researched a lot and they said, no, we want to have it strong and bold. And to me, this is of course a bit of a money-making machine. To me, I won't release an Office for Men Eau de Toilette, this is an Eau de Parfum. I won't release an Office for Men Eau de Parfum Intense Super Strong. This fragrance is already as long-lasting as it's only physically, chemically, artistically possible. And this is an absolute powerhouse, man. Forget everything that you're seeing behind me and in front of me. This is an absolute powerhouse. And I know we can compete easily with the rest of the fragrance world with this brand, easily, but you know it as well. So what do we learn from this? Generally, the Eau de Toilette is better, but also generally the first release of a brand, of a fragrance is the best, generally. That doesn't always count. Like La Nuit de l'Homme, the flanker to l'Homme is better. The Acqua di Gio Profumo is better than the Acqua di Gio. So not always the case that the first one is the best. Thank you very much, guys. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I do this stuff now also on TikTok. Have over 300,000 followers there. I have my Instagram TV where I do videos about fragrance stuff. And that is it. Thank you guys. Love you. Bye.